What is up, guys? This is ViperStealth, and in this video I'm going to show you my latest PvP loadout. This is a PvP loadout, but you can definitely by all means use it in PvE. It just works very well in PvP. The PvP that I play is the Dark Zone. I don't play Conflict, so bear that in mind. I've not tested this in Conflict, but there's no reason why it shouldn't work. So let's get straight into it. The loadout is a 3-11-7. This is really important because this gives us access to various talents which are needed to improve the loadout. So 3 red. The reason for that is on the gloves, we've got compensated. So weapon damage is increased by 15% when your critical hit chance is below 20%. So there's 2 requirements here. You've got to make sure your critical hit chance is low, and you've also got to make sure that you do not exceed 3 red. So that's why we've got a 3 there. The 11 is really important because on the chest we've got an ability called Bloodsucker. Now some people do rock Unbreakable, where they get 70% of their armor back when they lose the armor with a cooldown of 1 minute. But the reason why I've gone for Bloodsucker is you get 25% bonus armor for 10 seconds every time you take away an enemy's armor. Now in the Dark Zone, normally the enemies that are going to be the biggest problem are groups of enemies. So every time I remove one of their armor, I get 25% bonus armor, and this stacks. I've tested this in the ODZ, and it actually stacks. So you can have up to, I think it's 150% armor at any one time if you've depleted people's armor. So it stacks really nicely. And if you look over to the left of this screen, we've got armor 296,000 armor. So 25% of that is pretty big. It's nothing to, complain about. And the last one, we're 3-11-7 on this loadout. And the reason why we've got 7 is because on the bags, we've got on the ropes. So on the ropes is weapon damage is increased by 25% while all skills are on cooldown. And on this loadout, I use the healer drone. That repairs my armor, and I also use a chem launcher. So what we do for the healing drone is it heals me while I'm in combat. Now when this runs out or when the enemy shoots it, that's fine, it goes on to cooldown, and I'm always using chems. And the good thing about chems is it doesn't matter how many you've got. So at the moment I've got 7 ammo in my chems. I only need to use 1 chem for this skill to count as on cooldown. So basically on the ropes procs quite often because I just need my healing drone to either die or get destroyed, and this to be healing once, and then bam on the ropes. So not only am I getting 15% extra weapon damage through compensated, but I'm also getting a massive 25% while skills are on cooldown. So that's pretty massive. On top of that, a couple of things that I should mention is my LMG hits like an absolute truck. It does 32,000 damage and it's got 100 bullets in the clip, so it's nothing to laugh about. It's a serious gun. It does 15% damage to targets out of cover, and in PvP you've always got people running around out of cover, so that's a nice bonus to have as well. If you look at the talent, this is really important. So it's nice to get Allegro, but the unhinged is essential. So I get an extra 20% weapon damage at the cost of 25% weapon handling. But then if I scroll up, you can see that I've modified it so that the stability is still maximum. So even though the accuracy, the reticle when I'm aiming down sights is quite large, the stability is very good. The gun does not move around much. And also when I'm in PvP, I very rarely ADS. I only ADS when they're reloading or when I know that the enemy aren't shooting at me. So other than that, I'm just firing from the hip and moving quickly. So the stability being maximum is really good. If you think about unhinged, an extra 20% weapon damage. If you think about on the ropes and you think about compensated, you can see why I'm really hitting these guys really hard. Now you might notice my gear score, it's 443. All of my loadouts are level 500 or almost level 500. The reason why it's so low, 443, is because of the shotgun. The shotgun, I've just got the level 1 Lullaby exotic. I'm looking for the Sweet Dreams exotic weapon, and then it will be level 500. I'll upgrade it, but I've not found it yet. So the Lullaby ticks all the same boxes, except I won't use this to shoot at the enemy because it only does 2.7k damage because it's level 1. So I've only got this as a placeholder until I get the Sweet Dreams. If we scroll down and see why it's important, there's a couple of things here. So the first thing is Lullaby. Landing a melee attack on an enemy after swapping to this weapon gives me 35% bonus armor for 5 seconds. So that is massive because I've got like like 300k armor, 35% is no joke, so that's going to really keep you protected. And it's also very useful for if I do run out of ammo, because the extra 35% should keep me covered whilst I'm, chemming myself and reloading my main gun. But the good thing about the reloads is that this weapon also has evasive, so while this weapon is equipped, it doesn't need to be in my hands, it just needs to be in my loadout. Dodging reloads 25% of my current weapon magazine. So if I've got this lullaby in my holster and I'm using this LMG and I'm running low of bullets, all I've got to do is dodge an attack and I get 25% of my mag back, which is 25 bullets. So if an enemy is shooting at you, all you need to do is roll and you get 25 bullets again. So you never need to reload with this LMG because of that talent, so it's extremely useful, and that's why I've gone for this in my secondary weapon. Looking forward to getting Sweet Dreams level 500, but for now this will do. I just won't use it, I'll just benefit off the talents that it provides me. So moving on the vest, it's really important to get a talent such as Unbreakable or Bloodsucker, because these are very good PvP perks. I do notice that Unbreakable seems to be the more popular choice, but I use Bloodsucker because I play a lot of PvE. I play predominantly PvE, so Bloodsucker I think is better than Unbreakable. And if I scroll up a little bit, you'll see that my attribute that I've recalibrated is a massive 15% weapon damage. So do look out for this on gears that you pick up. Now I found this on a purple gear vest, so don't sleep on those purple gear vests, and on purple gear in general you do always want to make sure that they've not got any good talents or any good attributes on them before you bin them. I found this 15% on a purple vest, so do check them, but this 15% massively helps me out. Moving on to the last thing which I'd like to mention is the knee pads. So the knees, I've got total armor 9.5%, which is very nice, and I've also got patience there. So after being in cover for 5 seconds, armor repairs 5% for every 1 second. So if I take cover for a little while and just get my healing drone out and also drop a chem, patience also stacks onto that, so that's very nice as well. In terms of the other gear, it's not too important. You may notice that I've got an ongoing directive here. I will change this when I can to a Gila Guard mask, but I've not found one yet. I just need a Gila Guard mask that's got 1 yellow and 1 blue, otherwise it will knock out my 3.11.7 out of sync. But all of the gear is basically rolled around getting the 3.11.7 loadout set up. Once you've got that, it's fine. Just make sure you're getting some really nice talents on the gear pieces such as On the Ropes, Compensated and Bloodsucker. Do look out for Patience, because that's extremely useful, and also do keep an eye out for 15% weapon damage. So that's pretty much it, but now we're going to head over to the stats page, and this will give you a good idea of the total summary of what's going on. So here are all my talents here. I'll scroll past that. We've already covered that, and we'll go down to weapon damage. So you see my weapon damage is 32k. My critical hit chance is 0, so I'm getting compensated, so that's good. My LMG bonus is 39%, so like I said, hits like an absolute truck. If we look up 2 spaces, you can see all weapons damage bonus 36%. So that 36% stacks on top of the 39% to mean that this LMG is an absolute beast. It's not to be messed with. And if we scroll down, you can see that we've got a lot of defense, as you could already see on the left hand side. We've got healing and regeneration, which is nice. We've got 43% hazard protection. So I've noticed that a lot of people are throwing fire grenades. So I've got 70% burn resistance and 43% hazard protection. So that's nice. Normally that just rolls off my back and doesn't do too much damage to me at all. And lastly, we've got headshot damage here, which is 68%. It's not huge, but it also isn't tiny considering I've not prioritized for that. But this loadout in general is definitely a great option for PvP. It's really tanky, it does hit like a truck, you're always healing yourself based upon the chem launcher, the healing drone, the patience. You've got a lot of stuff going on there, the bloodsucker, so it works really nicely. In PvE, this is also a brilliant build for just face tanking right in front of the enemy. It doesn't matter, you're always getting armor. As soon as you kill someone and take their armor, you're getting bloodsucker back, which stacks the armor. So it's really good loadout. Do give it a go. If you've got any questions, let me know in the comments. But if this video has been useful for you, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much.